Hi, it's Nikki, and on a Wednesday, I talk about speaking and visibility and content and website and your digital disco and all of that great stuff. And today, I want to give you 5 pointers around rehearsal to showtime. And this is something that comes up for my clients all of the time, is that sometimes they feel stuck behind the curtain. And it's now time for them to press play, publish, actually do the thing, get started, stop talking about it, do it, go live, whatever it might be. And so I wanted to give you today some really great actionable points that you can do, especially if you are in that waiting area moment and you know that your business goals and your future self are going, come on, or you yourself are thinking, I can't have another year where I say that I'm going to do something and then you just don't do it. And sometimes these things can feel so big and so overwhelming that you're thinking, how am I going to get started? So hopefully this will help you today. Number 1, give yourself permission to say what you want in a way that you want. You have full permission right now to do business in a way that works for you, to bring your unique blend of your personality, your skills, your expertise, your circumstances to the table in a way that works for you. We no longer have to be like businesswoman Barbie version of ourselves where it's like, hi, I've got a blazer, I've got a briefcase, I have hair in a certain way. No, you get to choose. You get to design it. And yet, when we are feeling that self-doubt or that sense of nervousness or can I really do this? Is this going to be okay? Etc. There can be this sense that we feel like we have to blend in or become the vanilla version of ourselves. And actually what I want you to do and take away from this is to go through maybe your materials or the way that you're operating and say, hang on a minute, what do I actually want to say? Or is this me? Or when you read your website copy out loud, say to yourself, is this the thing? Is this the vibe? Is this what my audience is going to love? And if it isn't, take the time to change it. Number 2, what are the topics on the table that you are here to talk about? I'm just talking about your business here. Now, you might have a business where you like to, for example, talk about how you can help people. Maybe you're a graphic designer, for example. But lots of the businesses that you work with are family-friendly businesses. So the fact that you talk a little bit about your children makes it make sense. Or maybe you do activities in London and you talk about that in terms of your content. However, you showing your garden and what you're growing might not be of relevance, or you sharing a grief journey doesn't feel like that fits in with your content. I want you to be very specific about what you're here to do and what you're not, so you can really flourish and be in this expert status. I often think about lawyers or doctors. They are so clear about what this meeting is all about. They might pass the time of day with you and say, yeah, it has been raining a lot. Oh, it's nearly Christmas. They may do those things, but they know that the best use of this interaction, especially if they're on a per hour moment, is not to talk about their home renovation project. It's to help you solve your problem. I also think that if you are not clear about your topics and how you're showing up, it all becomes a bit unnecessary clutter. And here is a practical thing that I do in this moment. If I am going to a meeting or a final casting, or if I've been on 6 pencils and gone through all of this process, I will always look at my handbag that I'm taking, and I will make sure that only the essentials are in that bag. Meaning, I'm not just going to pick my handbag up and go, oh, brilliant, I've got that old receipt, half a biscuit, a flyer that somebody came. I clean it all up because I really believe in that sense of showing up in that, okay, let's go moment. And I think doing this in the way that you're showing up, having that handbag, like, let me get rid of all this clutter. Why am I talking about this? Why do I feel like I need to be here, there, and everywhere? It will really make it much clearer and cleaner for your business, your brand, and ultimately your audience. Number 3, familiarity. We are all seeking it, whether we consciously or unconsciously think about it. So I want you to think about those staples in your life. Maybe it's that you always have a certain meal every single Friday night, or maybe that EastEnders theme tune, if you're a big soap opera person, gives you comfort. There's something about me seeing Gary Lineker on Match of the Day, I'm just like, it makes me feel nostalgic. He's part of that furniture, the fabric of culture. Maybe it's music, maybe it's something like that. I want you to think about how you can bring that familiarity to your content, to your clients, to your customers. So every time you show up, people have that recognition that it's you. Now, you don't always have to be wearing the same outfit, but maybe it's the same background like this. Or maybe you start it in the same way. Maybe you have a certain schedule. So on Mondays, something happens, on Tuesdays, etc. There's that familiarity in there. It's really, really great to have that, especially in a vague and chaotic and a world full of distractions. Ultimately, we can bring that coziness, that reliability, and in turn, that know, like, and trust factor. Number 4, I want you to think about your beginning, middle, and end. Sometimes I've been to talks or I've watched things, and some people might say, I just had this urge to share and I don't know where it's going. Now, if this person is, that is their flow, that they just can come up with magic and work on the fly and that's all great, I'm all in. However, if somebody says, I don't know, I just had this urge to share, what was I going to say again? It's a bit unsettling. And so if you are in that position of going, right, I need to get into this moment where I am talking to my clients, my customers, I'm opening up my opportunities. Go back to basics of the beginning, the middle, and the end. What's the story? What's the journey that you want to take people on? And having those pointers of it's this, and then it's this, then I'm going to talk about this, and finally we're going to wrap up and talk about this. Having that structure will not only be easy for you to follow and plan, it will also be easy for your clients to get results. Sometimes we might go to a talk or something like that and go, yeah, I felt really inspired, but I didn't really know what to do next. And sometimes that's enough just to feel inspired, and then that inspiration goes somewhere else. But I want you to think about it in that teaching mode of really guiding people through a process. So have a think about what that means. And maybe behind the scenes you're thinking, yeah, 1 minute I'll do that at some point, and actually saying, okay, I'm going to record a video and it's going to be 15 minutes long and this is how it's going to go. Finally, I want you to get used to ideas being real and not just on a piece of paper. We can keep planning or writing lists or creating vision boards or things like that. A lot of that is irrelevant unless you do something with it. Yes, you've got the pretty things, or you've got the list, or it looks lovely, but I want you to get things on their feet. And this is often the moment, especially if you rehearse a play, as I have done as an actor. This rehearsal room becomes such a cozy place. You know, we've got the tea station, the coffee, somebody always sits there in that cozy sofa. You've maybe been in that space for 2 to 3 weeks, so it becomes very familiar. And then there is that moment where you go to the theatre. And that can feel scary because you want to go back. And actually, there is a time limit on that rehearsal period. Nothing more can be gained from that until you get an audience. And that's how you're going to learn. And I remember doing these moments when I used to do dancing school shows when I was a kid. On the notice board, it always used to say, bring food and be prepared to stay late. Bring food, be prepared to stay late. And that is part of the process, because when you do a technical rehearsal of a play, when all the lights and the sound and the music comes in and you're walking it through and going, oh right, that thing's coming down, that's happening, there's a set change here, it can feel really clumsy. Then you have the dress rehearsal, and you're, quite often all your fellow actors will be waiting, and it's like, oh, that quick change or that outfit that I was going to wear, it doesn't work because I can't get the thing buttoned up and over my head in time. So we're going to have to look at that. That's when you learn. And I think what people want to do too quickly is go from rehearsal to showtime, to being like, oh, I'm just doing this thing behind the scenes, and now I've got this perfection show going on right now. And very rarely does that happen. We have to be uncomfortable with trying things, with having a go, with seeing if something needs tweaking or looking at. And sometimes in that process, we get surprises like, oh, I didn't think that would work, but it absolutely does. This is really great. So I want you to think about that. I want you to consider how that could happen practically. My phone is beeping. And also check out your digital disco. If you want help, if you want support, send me a message, send me an email. Check out my shop, my work with me sections, and we can go from there. Lots of love, and I'll see you next time. Bye.